morning. We're talking about walking again today. And if I were an alien trapped in this human body, and I wanted to ask you, well, how as an alien do I walk in this body here? What would you say? You might say, well, you just got to put one foot in front of the other. Well, let's try that. Okay, well, how exactly do I put one foot in front of the other? You say, well, you actually got to like bend your knee, bend your ankles, and just put one leg in front of the other. Okay. Working a little better, but not really as gracefully as like you humans walk. What do I do? Okay, no, you gotta put one hip in front of the other. Okay. Not working either. Okay, so clearly we're missing something here, and it's something we haven't yet talked about. In these past 3 months, we've really focused on what's been happening in the lower body. But in order to really walk, we need to talk about a spine. Because what are the hips attached to? The spine. And by knowing how our spine moves, we can then move our hips, move our legs, move the rest of us in a graceful and natural way, and so that we can go for a walk. And today we have an expert, Carolyn Johnston, my Alexander technique instructor, who will be teaching us how exactly the spine helps with our walk.
So we're here now with Carolyn Johnston and Big Dude, and they're going to explain to us the basic elements of walking. Now, most of us, when we think of walking, we think of moving our legs first, but Carolyn is going to explain to us why it's the spine that we need to start with to begin our walk. So, Carolyn, can you explain to us, please, how that process works and what the spine does for us?
Sure. This is your lumbar spine. This is your sacrum, your little tailbone. Where all your ribs are, this is called the thoracic spine. They all have their nice individual types of curves. This is your cervical spine that curves the same direction as the lumbar curve. And you can see that from the side. There's a nice curve, big curve here, and a slightly littler curve here, and then a curve towards the back for your thoracic. So in terms of walking, there is really no rotational ability in the lumbar spine. So this is why a lot of people get injured sometimes in trying to do yoga movements or something extreme where they're trying to move their lumbar spine. But if you notice, here and here, this is the fifth lumbar vertebra, and it really is blocked. It can't move very much at all in a rotational spirally way. Same with the next one. Here it's blocked. You cannot, just won't move very much. This one is even more blocked here. Little teensy bit. And this one, so we're on your 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is your first lumbar vertebra. Then you have the 12th thoracic vertebra, and that one also cannot move very much at all. So when you get to the top of the 12th thoracic vertebra and the bottom of the 11th thoracic vertebra, now you can see that there is more space to begin a spirally rotational movement. And I like to think of it as a spiral because you want to be lengthening your spine with this so it doesn't just grate on your nerves. Grate on your nerves in more ways than one. And so this carries through all the way up to the thoracic. You can see he's a little stiff, but that you can go more and more with each one of these thoracic vertebrae. you have the distance to go all the way over here, all the way over to here. This one, this one, this one, this one. And then when you get up into your cervical spine, you have a lot more rotational movement because there hardly is anything in the way of that movement. And you can, I don't know if you can see this or not, but there's like a kind of an upward angle. So that's why the spiraling is great, because it goes to the left and up, to the right and up, to the left and up, and so forth and so on through the rest of the vertebrae. So you have the most rotational movement in the thoracic spine. He's better at it one way than the other, just like the rest of us humans.
So how can we find where a lumbar is and differentiate that from a thoracic?
Okay, when you put your hands on your hips, you feel a lot of fleshy, good intestinal things going on here. So that's all lumbar. So you've got to go up a little bit higher to find your ribs, like find where the bony part of your ribs starts here at your floating rib, and go up a little higher than that, where you feel really this solid part of your, not solid, but big part of your ribs right around here. And that's where you're going to have the rotational ability to move your legs from. Your spine, and that moves your hips, which moves your legs. So, so if I go from here down, it's this movement, and I call it the washing machine. And if I go from here up, which is your bottom of your T11 up, then it's my ribs that are moving, and so that moves my arms. So if I want to reach over and get something, I've got all this movement from my thoracic spine as well as my arms. And then my cervical, of course, can also, it can move the most of all the other curves.
So you can navigate on the dance floor.
And this is good. Right, important.
And not hit anyone.
Exactly.
Okay. So now you have with you little dude, and can you explain to us how all that knowledge that we've been working on with our spinal movement and our movement of our legs and our feet and all of that, how does that translate into walking?
Okay, I'm good. Well, I'll do it from the front first. So if I want my right leg to go forward first, my spine from that T11 down spot, oops, sorry, you can't see, T11 down, will move counterclockwise, and there's my right leg going forward, as well as at the leg joint itself, but that's the right leg going forward, and then the left leg going forward, right leg going forward, left leg going forward. Okay, left leg going forward, right leg going forward.
As Carolyn explained, when we walk, we need to move our spine first, and then our legs and the rest of our body follows. Now, if we were to rotate a lumbar clockwise continually all the way up our spine, we would end up looking like this. So here I am going clockwise, rotating the entire spine. We get this zombie walk. So something else has got to give, right? And what that is contrabody. So if I am going forward in a straight direction, as my lumbar rotates in one direction to bring my leg forward, let me do that a little bit nicer here, a little bit of exaggeration here, or my thoracic spine moves in the opposite direction. So as this moves clockwise, this moves counterclockwise, and that allows me to stay going forward. It's not actually something you need to think about too much, but we do want to be aware of this movement and the separation and being free in our spine. and being free in the spine and our back allows us to do all these moves in Tango, whether it's ochos, lows, whatever, or just plain walking. We want that freedom of the spine so all the little vertebrae can move, and we can use a contrabody in a way to help our Tango. So next time, Carolyn will put everything together, everything we've learned, and she'll show us how to walk in a nice, healthy manner. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.